Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So if you haven't already, make sure you reset the game and reload it, and this is going to be in-game update for version 2.10.100. As of just a few minutes ago, we do have some Black Friday specials, and so hopefully if you are in the US, have a great Thanksgiving. For the rest of the world who doesn't celebrate that, well, you can enjoy some shopping if you so choose on this game. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So first of all, we'll go over the Fatefuls first, and of course these are one time only. Must use 1,000 paid stones, and in the future, if you are on the Heavens subscription, you'll be able to use a ticket instead. Now, in the case of the first one here, we are going to have only a 5% uprated for 4 different units, and I guess these units are either related to the Mythos, in the case of Primaya, Iska, and Suzette, and Claude is also chosen AS form as the 4th unit. Keep in mind that Pizzica and the rest of the units are also here in all their glory, and of course, you can get all the Rainbow Sisters and Knights and Bots if you haven't collected them all. Now, if they're all just 5%, I can't even say that that would be a great deal. Now, the reason for that is that usually for people who are summoning on these chosen banners or guaranteed fatefuls or whatever, you want almost like a 25% chance for each of them, such that no matter what happens on the 10th pull, you'll get one of the 4 aforementioned units. In this case, being 5% across the board, there is an 80% chance you're going to hit a unit that are not featured. And if that's the case, why are you summoning on this banner, right? Because, most of the time we want a Fateful to kind of increase our chance of getting the featured unit. Not only that, AS Iska, AS Suzette, Primaya, as well as AS Claude are much older units, and, if you're thinking about getting them now for the upcoming Mythos, there will be banners featuring them in the future. In the case of Claude, I mean, he is a Wind Zone setter. However, I can imagine that you could use other future banners, either Star Dreams or Manifest banners or whatever, to collect them in the future. And so this first future ones, chosen ones, I wouldn't say I would recommend spending stones on this at all. Again, if you are really, really new to the game and you really enjoy the game and want to spend some stones here, I guess you can consider it, being that you can add 1 unit, and even if you don't add one of the 4 featured units, you'll probably get a 5-star of some sort, being that they're guaranteed 5-star for the 10 pull. And then, most likely, if you're early in the game, you probably don't have the majority of them, in which case, it's not bad value. But in the case of playing any length of time, early, end game, and so on and so forth, wouldn't recommend spending 1,000 paid stones for now. There's going to be a lot more better banners in the future to spend your paid stones on. Okay, now in the, I guess for the present day, it's going to be the same thing. 5% chance, 4 different units, and then the same rolls down the road. In the case of this one, I can argue that the 4 units here are a little bit more palatable, shall I say. I mean, after all, you do have Yukino, Yifa, Dunerith AS, as well as Shigiri AS. And in terms of use, even in current meta, or today's meta, AS Dunerith is still one of the more powerful, I would say the most powerful wind magic DPS currently in the game. Plays very well with Magic Zone, especially either with AS Rosetta or AS Chio. In the case of Yifa, still our OG Blunt Zone setter. I mean, I can say that AS Miunfa could be a better replacement for her. However, if you don't have either form, having a Blunt Zone setter is really useful, can still increase the effectiveness of your Blunt team, especially the likes of the more powerful ones, such as AS Yuen, ES Molina. There's a few other ones I haven't mentioned, Felmina, for example, so on and so forth. In the case of AS Shigiri, I did just put up a 5-star review since I did off-banner hit him. Of the 4 units, I would say he's probably the weakest one. In terms of Water Zone, you could either side grade Annabelle to AS Annabelle if you had it. If you have AS Yuna, you probably can get that. And even don't forget, AS Zaviro is coming out in Global in a few weeks as well. Not that any of these units are bad. They're certainly a better selection than the first banner, the future. However, again, all of these units have been out for at least a few months, and Yifa, for example, is almost a year. Yukino is also almost a year as well. And if you want to spend paid stones, again, if you're relatively new to the game and are missing all these units, you only have a 20% chance, 5% across the board for each of those. So yeah, better than the first one. Still would probably opt out of it unless you really love all 4 characters, in which case, hey, not a bad buy. Finally, we will go check on the odds. I'm sure it's the same thing. 5% across the board, so on and so forth. And we have Tiramisu, AS Shani, AS Vena, and AS Yuna. Now again, compared to the present, I'm going to say these 4 units are much worse, unfortunately, than the ones in the present, and would rival the future in terms of some of them being less useful now than it was before. I mean, AS Vena is still a very good wind zone setter. I mean, we only have 2 right now, AS Claude as well as AS Vena. They both do have different uses, keep in mind, but AS Vena does double as a mage and healer as well as in wind zone. So she is quite useful in that sense, but like I said, AS Claude can do the trick. Like myself, I don't have AS Vena and I have AS Claude, and I've handled wind fights much, overall pretty well. In the case of AS Shani, again, she's got a niche thing where she can boost the crit damage, I believe, of all male units by 50% if they're in their front line. You have so many crit boosters already in terms of damage. Can't say she's really great unless she comes out with a manifest, and we don't know when that's going to occur. Not only that, she does have the end of turn attack. Again, relatively niche, and being that her damage multipliers are relatively low compared to some of the newer power crit units in the game, probably not going to find much use in your front line. Now, Tiramisu is the original brainless farmer. It can one-shot mobs, one-shot a lot of content, even some horrors, and even some weaker bosses as well. Given the right setup of a spirit, if you raise her spirit to a high enough amount, and it's not too difficult with the different badges, Grastas, and so on and so forth, you can essentially 300k everything in your way with just a one shot. Very useful for farming. She is an older unit, and she can side grade into AS Tiramisu, which is another Earth Zone setter. However, if you're talking purely as a mob clearer, you have people like AS Radika, AS Tsubame. You can even say, once you get to the mid-end game, or even the late-end game like myself, any AoE that has enough Grasta with it on your unit will probably clear mobs for you without much effort as well. And so, and finally, AS Yuna, not much to say about her. She has some debuffing, she has some shield potential, she is a water zone setter, she can cure status, I guess. In terms of DPS, very low. She can help with crit setting on a water-based zone team. However, again, there's crit setting weapons as well as crit setting units. I feel that, and this is just my opinion of course, AS Yuna is probably one of the weakest water zone setters over the 3 currently available, either AS Shigeri, AS Annabelle, or AS Yuna. I mean, she does have, again, a lot of uses, and not to say I hate on her or anything like that, I just don't feel that she's worthwhile to get at this point in the game. And so the same thing applies. You're only getting 5% chance for these 4 units. There 80% chance of you not getting these, and in which case you're just randomly summoning on a Fateful. Better off spending your hard-earned stones elsewhere. And so just as a summary, if you're going to summon on any of these and you're missing multiple units, I would consider only the present one as anything remotely worth going for. The other ones, unfortunately, I wouldn't. Okay, now let's see what we have for our free banners, and I'm hoping as a free-to-play that it will be more worthwhile for myself. Okay, so I'm not going to look any much further than this. You can see that the odds of the 4 rated units are only 0.4, not uprated, just 0.4 times 4, and then the rest of it spread out on the 10th pull with the rest of the 5 stars available. Keep in mind, you cannot get the newest unit, so Pizzica will not be in here. As a reminder, all free banners are usually behind paid banners by about 2 units, and so I think the 2 newest units are AS Hardy as well as Pizzica, in which case those 2 will not be available. And same goes with these ones, same 4 units, 0.4 across the board. And finally, same 4 units across the board. I mean, I know that a lot of you don't have many stones left over after summoning on all those powerful units that come up since the end of August. So for the last 3 months, just a reminder, we had Easubame, we had Nikoko Iesukia, we've had, Garen Barrel, we've had Pizka. I mean, the list goes on. And so, Aeschio, yeah. So most of us don't have very many stones, but even if you did, unless you really want these units, again, I would totally pass and save your stones for a future banner. Keep in mind that in Global, we are actually close to our 3-year anniversary. And a lot of times during the anniversary, there are uprated banners that may actually feature some of these units as well. And so you might as well save your stones for that. Not only that, for the people who don't have any of the units in the Mythos that's coming out in the future from Japan that's coming to Global, you'll need some stones to summon for the versions of Iska, Suzette, Dewey, and Primaya. And so, yeah, I would totally pass on that. Again, if you're missing most of the units in the present day, I would say if you really wanted to, you could opt to divert some stones here. However, given that Pizzica is still here, and AS Hardy, if you have neither of those in any form, those two would take priority beyond all these Black Friday specials. So, let me know in the comments below what you think of these banners. Unfortunately, I do think that this is a little bit disappointing, and so I will be passing for sure. Of all the units, I really would love to have a Yukino. However, not worth the chance of only a 0.4 rate up for that. But yes, I would like to hear from you. Are you guys summoning? Not summoning? Do you even have stones left? Who are you possibly aiming for in the future? Anyway, sorry for the long-winded video. I know that there were a lot of banners to cover, and even though none of them, in my opinion, were worth summoning for, I still wanted to kind of at least cover why some of these units might be still desirable to you, and if it does fit your situation, by all means, definitely summon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.